Okay, while everybody's eating and enjoying your lunch, I'll go ahead and make the announcement and introduce our speaker. So without further ado, everybody enjoy your luncheon. He knows how to talk while you eat. So I want to introduce you to Bob Jenkins, and I'm going to have Bob tell you a little bit about himself and to help you to know who this is. So without further ado, this is Bob Jenkins. He's Bob the teacher.
Thank you very much, Rhonda. Good afternoon, everybody. How are you doing?
Great.
Fantastic. My name is Bob Jenkins, and I go by Bob the Teacher online because there's about 2 million Bob Jenkinses. And as some of you may know, there's even a Bob Jenkins downtown who does historical tours and stuff. I've never met him yet, but I'd love to meet him at some point. In any case, I have a 10-year background in the classroom as a history teacher. Went to Florida State University as an undergrad and went to Johns Hopkins for my graduate degree. And so I like handouts, and I like handouts that are functional more than extravagantly polished up. You are already doing social networking all the time. You're doing it right now. So the transferring from what you already do to online is going to be a very easy type of a thing for you. As long as you have a computer or access to one. You don't need a website. You don't need even an email address, ultimately, although you should get one sooner than later, because most of these sites do require it. But I want to help you to get connected to more people, okay? And I'll be addressing those needs throughout today's talk. My main goal for you today is 3 things. I want you to get inspired in 3 areas. I want you to get into the conversation. I want you to contribute value to your community. And I want you to grow through consistent effort and consistent display of your expertise. So you've heard the phrase, it's not who you know, right? It's who knows you. But that's actually wrong. It doesn't go far enough. It's not who you know. It's not who knows you. It's who knows what you do. They don't just need to know your name. They need to know your area of expertise and why people follow you. They should also know what you do based on somebody's recommendation. You know that. You know the referrals are the best way to get new customers, right? And the credibility of that referral is very, very essential to you getting a customer. Social networking allows that to happen at a much, much higher level. And I'm going to share with you a few ways to do that. My favorite part, of course, is in this downturn in the economy, the cost of what I'm about to teach you. 0. Doesn't cost you any money to have a blog. Doesn't cost you any money to use Twitter or Facebook or get on YouTube or something that you might want to venture into later on if you have a decent conversational style, something called Blog Talk Radio. All these things are free. Absolutely free. I'll give you a quick story. It's not on the slide. My very first foray into social networking was in March of 2006. Date was March 10th. My mentor told me to get on a little website called Squidoo. It was brand new. It was actually brand new by 4 months, but it had very little users on it. I started making lenses, these pages. I didn't quite know what I was doing, but I did it anyway. Took his advice. On April 10th, one of those lenses was featured in the New York Times. 4 weeks after starting this, I still get traffic to that page to this day because it's on the New York Times. I can't promise you'll get on the New York Times, but you just don't know where these connections are going to lead. Okay? Pretty freaking awesome, if you ask me. Okay, here's an example of a Twitter page. If you've never seen Twitter before, this is what it looks like. You don't need to read all the little things about it. It's a profile page, and each of these little things here are updates from people. Specifically on this page, these are people talking to me directly. Okay? When I post something now, 2,036 people get to see it or have the potential of seeing it. Okay? Which is pretty cool. I don't know if your list of people you can say stuff to is 2,000 yet, but it will be very much faster than what it is now. Okay? Here's a couple of things that they have said to me, and I want to emphasize not to brag what they've said about me, but who is seeing what they are saying about me. So that when you have the same thing happen, these folks will have people following them who are seeing what they say about you. Okay? So thanks for selling me that house. Thanks for the send out cards card. Thanks for this, thanks for that. Everybody that is following them has the potential of seeing it. So this woman says, great help as usual, thanks for the video. She has 137 people. Pretty new person. You can get to 200, 300 people within the first 3 to 4 weeks pretty easily. Okay, people following. Next person said, you've got to watch this, post a link to my website, something that I posted, and says that I'm awesome. Thank you very much, DNA Trader. But more importantly, for our purposes here, she has 1,700 people who are going to be able to potentially see that and see who I am. Next person says, I'm awesome because I helped them out, and something's wrong with my clicker. 5,095 people are following him, who can then get to know who I am. And the last example, a person who I helped introduce Twitter to just a few months ago, says, you told me go ye therefore and tweet, and I did. Very clever phrasing as it is anyway, right? She has 6,523 people who get to see her talking about what I do. So I want you to have that kind of exposure. I want you to have the ability for somebody to say something about you, not just in a room like this, where 2 or 3 people might hear you, but hundreds, if not thousands of people will get to see what you're doing. Now, a quick example from our local market here. You guys recognize this guy? Franklin Rouse. Wave to the audience here, Franklin. This is Franklin's Facebook page, and he's been on it exactly 2 months on the 19th of this week. Okay? And he posted this set of photos the other day. You can see the little bear, and it says,
Good neighbor, Bob.
it's the Good Neighbor. Sorry. Thank you for the correction. Well, he tagged Mr. Bruce Brown in that photo album because Bruce is in the album. And you have this ability in Facebook to say who are in your pictures. Well, guess what? Bruce Brown was tagged in an album, showed up on my news feed because I'm following Bruce. And so I see that Bruce is in a photo. And I see this little set of photos here, and I see that it's Franklin Rouse. And I say, oh, I met Franklin Rouse. I'm going to go ahead and click on his stuff. And if I didn't already know him, become a friend. Right? Now, the long-term effects of this, a couple of little Google shots of search engines. I've always wanted to be known as the best internet marketing teacher, just for fun. And so I've spent a lot of time in my website stuff trying to become known as that. And so on the first page of Google, I'm in the 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th spot if somebody searches for internet marketing teacher. Okay? I like that. That's pretty cool. Didn't spend any money to do it. Absolutely $0 in advertising. And if you search just for Bob Jenkins, which I used to have our friend down in Wilmington show up. Actually, I think he's on the 2nd page now. But there's also a race car analyst for ESPN, so he's always been showing up before me. But in the 4th spot is my Facebook profile, and then the 6th spot is my blog now, because of the power of social networking, because of the power of what these sites do. These are very heavily trafficked websites, and I think that you're going to really find some benefits from that.